Hey guys, Jolton here and I'm back with another video, and this video we'll be doing a little bit differently. So if you didn't know, then hi, I'm Jamie and I do Minecraft, I guess. And today I am going to teach you how to choose your blocks, well, sort of, and it's getting nighttime, so if you see here, I have so many different sort of things, and you'll see a little bit of trials and errors as well, because I'm not the best at this. I'm still learning, but I'm teaching you guys what I know so far. So we're going to start with this one, which is a cave, and you can use this, of course, for, well, you can use this for a mountains and stuff like that. It doesn't have to be a cave or anything like that, but as you see here, I have laid out a couple of blocks, and it's a lot of blocks actually. And all of these blocks I've used in this place. So let me show you. Of course, the stone has been used here, andesite it's been used here. It's quite simple. Cobble, gravel. Gravel is here, which was used more for the campfire. And then we have a little bit like, all of these blocks of course aren't supposed to be in a cave. Like here we have wool, light grey wool and grey wool, as well as sunk terracotta, grey concrete and light grey concrete, which are stuff that you usually don't find in a cave, as well as dead coral blocks, 5 of them, which are the amount there are in, well, as I know, these are the dead ones I know at least. So here, as you see, there's a lot of blocks, and here's the wool, more wool, and here's the grey concrete, and here's the cyan terracotta and light grey concrete. Which I decided, why did I choose to have it here, was because it makes it look like a little bit darker, like still going on, but it's not, it's just stopping there. So yeah, I think it's quite cool how I used it. It's not really my favorite thing, but trials and error, I decided to have it still there. But there's sure to be like ways you can still use them outside like this. Doesn't have to be on the more darker spots, it could be just here and here, stuff like that. So it doesn't have to be like that, but what I usually do is to make sure that it actually gets sort of blended in with each and every other block. And what I used for the roof were mossy cobblestone, and there's side, well, the walls technically as well. Cobblestone, and the dead corals I decided to use here. Now I'm going to show you that each and every block of them are actually here, so I'm not lying. Here we have the first one, here we have the second one, here we have the third one, here we have the fourth one, as well as, where's the last? I think that's the last one. So as you can see, it's working well with dead corals, cyan, concrete and wool. The biggest thing is, for me at least, is to actually blend them in so they don't stick out. Like if we put this here, it would stick out. I mean, you could use that as well, I guess, but I decided to use more grayish kind of colors here. So yeah, and here we come. We're going to move on from this, and of course there's a fireplace as well. Campfire. Whatever. And when we move on over here, we have a roof, which I decided to. Now I don't know if I like this roof or not, but this is how it looks like. And of course, if you probably like get it further away, then I mean, I'm not 100% on this. 100% sure on this roof, but I decided to have it in because 1, it took forever to build, and 2, I just wanted to show you trials and errors, as I said. Now I decided to use acacia planks. Oh well, I can actually go here. Granite, stripped acacia wood, brown wool, acacia planks, and bricks, which are the only ones here. Now, I also made this because this is a little bit better. If you look, like, that matches more together, but still the stripped wood is a sore eye, but not really, like, it's fine. So, and I decided to use this here to just show you how boring it can get and how more interesting it can get. So I think this is better. So use whatever like things you have. Doesn't have to be granite. I just decided to use granite because it's an interesting block. So yeah, but you can. How I usually do this, by the way, is just by destroying blocks and placing new ones. So it gets sort of a random out pattern, I guess, because I don't want it to look like I place them like this is going to be here because of this reason. I want it to look kind of crazy, and I believe I got that. This is a little bit too straight for me, so yeah. Now we're going to move on from that one and move on to this one, which is my absolute favorite. Like, if you watched my tour on the how to server, then you will know that I use this technique kind of in that world. So what I decided here was to go with a nether theme. Like, it's creeping in, like there's supposed to be a portal here, but I forgot about it, so sorry. And it's supposed, like, the nether is supposed to crawl into the overworld, which I used by Obsidian, Netherrack, nether gold ore, nether bricks, cracked nether bricks, nether wart blocks, nether quartz ore, crimson stem, crimson nylium, black terracotta, and this is where we go over to the more not nether blocks, because as you see, these are just used in nether, so you can find them in the nether and it's usually there in the nether. But here we go on to the earthy sort of things, like black terracotta, red terracotta, brown concrete, brown concrete powder, grass block, and podzol. So those are some of the blocks, or well, all of the blocks that I used. And it makes it more interesting. Like, if we move over here, you don't really see, like, it gets more interesting than using one block of this netherrack and a little bit of obsidian. So as you see, I try to use the more earthy sort of blocks over here by the more overworld, the grass and stuff like that, like podzol. And the good thing is that I made this in a desert, so the grass already looks dead, so it looks like the nether already killed the grass. And then we have podzol, which makes it even better. Brown concrete powder, which makes the grass like look more dead, even more dead than the desert grass. So, and we also have we also have red terracotta, which was placed more closer to the netherrack, because it's, if we would place it over here, for example, it would stick out so much, and that's not something we want. We want it to look more blended in. So yeah, then we have the more brown concrete, which was placed with the podzol because it's sort of has the same color-ish. And we also have the brown terracotta, which sort of did the same thing, and I really like it. Now we also have on the nether side, more nether side like thing, we also have nether quartz and stuff like that. Now I decided to use obsidian for, like, it's starting to crawl over. That's where I started actually, so I started with the obsidian and then built out with crimson stem and netherrack and stuff like that. and it made it look really cool. Now, why I used Crimson Stem is because if you look, it sort of has this like pulsing kind of animation to it, which makes it look more alive. So I'm thinking like it's this monster that's slowly crawling in and destroying the land. So, and it makes it like, this looks like it's blood, so it's like pulsing out blood throughout its veins, I don't know. And I just really like it. And as you see, I didn't just use the more earthy kind of blocks here, I also used them here with the black terracotta, because I thought that using it here, it would stick out way too much. And as I said before, that's not something I want. I mean, you could use it, but I don't really like it when it sticks out too much, so I decided to use it more with the darker colors. And of course you could use it here, but it still sticks out with the Netherrack a little bit too much. So I decided to use it with the Obsidian, which is already quite dark, and the Nether bricks, because those are the darker ones here. So it sort of like blends in with the black terracotta. And it's absolutely my favorite. And we also used some warped fungus and crimson fungus, because that's sort of makes it more like, it comes from the nether, so nether stuff, I guess. And let's move on to the last one, or not last one, the next one. Now this is one that I don't like. I tried to make it more into lab, but the colors didn't really match, so I mean, we could make it more, I don't know, I think it's a sore eye. Like, yes, it's faulty and all that, but I wanted to show you because the first try isn't going to be the best, and I decided, like, one thing I do like though is the wall, sort of. I used bone blocks in it. Oh, I didn't even show you the blocks I used. I used chiseled quartz block of quartz bricks, quartz pillars, quartz stairs. Oh, well, yeah, I used quartz stairs, okay. White wool, block of iron, smooth quartz block, snow block, white stained glass and / white stained pane, bone block, white concrete, and white concrete powder. But the snow, as you may see, it was way too much, like, it stuck out way too much here, so I decided to use it here instead. Because that's a little bit better. It's still a little bit too much, but it's better. And I try to use smooth quartz blocks, white concrete, and white concrete powder to make it more blended in. Also, if you may or may not have realized, I tried to use 2 other blocks here, but they didn't look good enough, so I decided, no, let's try, because I'm not a master of this, so I just decided, let's go and try at least. So I'm probably going to make a video about new ways in the future, because I'm still learning. So now this is actually now we're moving on to the next one, by the way. This is something I noticed in Grian's video, or, well, he talked about it. If you don't know who Grian is, then he's another Minecraft YouTuber, and he's absolutely amazing. I truly, if you don't watch him, then I recommend watching him. But he uses this gradient in the walls that he makes, and I decided to use it as well, just to show. It's not my idea. I don't even know if it's his idea from the beginning, whose idea it was from the start, but this is what I made, at least. So I don't know, it could be better, I guess. As said, like, it should probably be way bigger than this, but I just decided to show you guys a small little thing of this. But I also chose to use some other like glass window sort of thing, which looks good, but I don't have a texture pack, so the windows like has this edge to them. So if it was going to be better, I think it would be looking a lot more better, awesome, if I had a texture pack which blended them all together so it didn't have this edge. But I used to, or I have black stained glass, gray stained glass, light gray stained glass, and white stained glass to make it more gradient, sort of exactly with the wall. I like it. Just if you're going to use this, then maybe use either a texture pack or maybe even paints, because I believe, if I'm going to check this out real quick, sorry for the delay. Yeah, they still have that edge, so if you want to use this, then either you don't use a texture pack or you use a texture pack to make the edges go away. I don't know a texture pack which is good for this, but if you guys do, then tell me in the comments down below so others and myself can learn from it. Now we're going to move on from this one to the next, which is, well, it's one of the more basic ones technically. So if you see here, we have a campfire with like a ton of blocks here, and I decided, like, I was a little bit unsure if I wanted to use this because it's so basic. Like, you can just use dirt, coarse dirt, path blocks, and pod salt to make it look good, but I decided to use also other blocks because, well, diversity, I guess. I don't know. So I chose to use stripped dark oak wood, soul sand, and soil, as well as light gray terracotta and gray terracotta, because I think it looks good. Like, yes, it sticks out a little bit, but it's like it has this kind of earthy feeling to it, so I think it's fine. Blend it in correctly and it will look better than this. I mean, I don't hate it, but I think I could use it a little bit better. And for example, like, you can't use dirt, of course, if you're building in a, well, in a with grass and stuff like that, because then it will just build over with grass. But use coarse dirt instead if you want to, because coarse dirt don't turn into grass, so big, like, that's great. So you can just place it with no worry about it turning into grass. So yeah, and this is like, oh wait, yeah, brown concrete powder. Where's the brown concrete powder? Did it disappear? I think I accidentally deleted it when I built it. Whoops. Let me just fix that. Let's place it over here. Let's place it over here. And let's place it over here. It's there. Good. Awesome. Now, if you haven't realized, like, I'm just going to steal this. If you look at this, grass and powder blocks, brown concrete powder and other concrete powder blocks have sort of the same texture. So you could use it as like some dyeing sort of, like, you could use it as grass, or you could use it as, like, you don't have to use the grass to make it look like grass, because if you see here, this looks like very dead grass, this looks like very dark grass, and this looks like the grass on the other side of the bridge. Very light and very nice. So you don't have to use grass technically to make it look like grass. If you understand. I don't think there's any more that would work like that, but you could also use like this to make it look like more of ashes if you want that to be a part. Like, of course, I don't know. I'm not questioning your building, but I used ash blocks for one of my series. And, oh well, it was technically ash, but this looks sort of like ash. So, if you use it correctly, then you can use it for anything, pretty much. Now, we're going to move on to the next and last thing. Because I'm finished with talking about grass, and let's talk about something more beautiful. Flowers. So, if you watched my how to build a house video, then you will have realized that that I used 4 different flowers as well as a sapling for the building, and those were the only, and these are the ones I believe. I used Oxydaisy, a sure bluette, a white tulip, and a dandelion to make it more unionized. And you can have any sort of feelings towards flowers or style, but this is the styles that I sort of wanted to use and like give, so it looks more unionized, I guess. I don't know. Let's actually start from the beginning. So here we have 4 different flowers. We have the dandelion, oxydaisy, orange tulip, and poppy. But I don't know if the poppy looks good enough to be in this. Like, it's a little bit too, like, what I think about when I look at this, its color, its height, it's like, what it looks like. Is it round? Is it squashed? Is it a tulip? So it really depends on the feeling you want for it. So yeah, but I don't know if the poppy is really that good, but if you want the poppy, then you can use poppy. But it's not really, like, I don't know why I used it there, but either way, let's move on to the next one, because we have a lot of flowers here. So we have the blue orchid, white tulip, cornflower, and lily of the valley. So the reason why I just chose these ones are because I decided to choose this one first and then go on from that, and I chose white because white looks nice and I really like it. And why I chose this one is the cornflower is because it's blue, like the orchid. Yeah, it's called orchid, blue orchid. And this one I chose because of it's white, and 2, it's sort of like sparky like this, like it goes over everywhere. So I decided, hey, that looks nice, and looks really nice. It like sticks out from the rest, which I quite like. If you want this sort of feeling, then I suggest using these. I really love these. So now I already showed you these ones, but I don't really know why I actually chose these flowers in the first place on the how to build a house video. But well, they're all white, they're all yellow, they're all like, they have different heights, they have different shapes, and it's really nice, and it still sticks with the like theme of the video or theme of the house that I wanted. And if you pick out a poppy, then it sticks out like a sore thumb, the poppy I mean. So yeah, and now we're going to give some love towards the poppy, because the poppy, it was disqualified from that group, so now it has its own group. We have the red tulip and orange tulip. It doesn't have a third or a fourth because, I don't know, I didn't want a fourth. You don't have to use 4 flowers, you can use 3, 2, 1. I mean, it's good. It's best to use 4, I believe, 4 or 3. Not too many, not too little, and it doesn't get too repetitive with the same flower throughout the whole building. Now, the reason why I chose this is because of, well, the height, the color, and I decided that but orange and red sort of looks nice together, so I decided why not have it there. And let's move on to the next flower. And like the other one, you only have 3 here, so as you see here, we have the allium, which is sort of like, I had a little bit trouble with it. Like, I don't really like allium. I don't use it a lot, but I decided to use it here to show you if you wanted to use allium for any building then, or place. You could use it with pink tulip and dandelion, which looks quite nice together, and it still sticks out, but it doesn't, like, it's nice. And the reason why I chose dandelion, it's none of the other flowers are yellow, but it's sort of like, dandelion is usually seen as this flower that you don't want, but I decided why not put 2 and 2 together. No one wants these two, so it can be a group. This one is cute. This one is sort of the same flowers, or sort of the same color. So I decided why not? Let's use them all in this. And to the next one. And like before, it's only 3, it's not 4. And I decided to use all white. Like, yes, there are more. Actually, no, there aren't. There's one more white flower that you could use. Here we have it. But I don't know, it could be used, just, yeah. But the reason why I chose white all is because, well, white is usually seen as an innocent color, and if you want sort of like have a, for example, for a story or something, you want to use a small child that's all innocent, you can maybe use them to have Lily of the Valley or Oxidasian, like have a lot of different colors, like, or not colors, flowers. They all look differently. Like, none of them are really the same thing. 2 of them are sort of sparky, like going around. One is really tall and one is really like thin. One is round, and like, I think it's really nice. It's innocent and it's cute. So yeah, I really like these. But now to the last one, which is the Wither Rose. It's on its own. Doesn't serve any of these. It's dark, and if you want to use it, then use it. But what I usually use it for is, I used it once for a wizard witch place, and I chose to use mushroom, the 2 mushrooms in the game, red mushroom and brown mushroom, because they're, well, sort of annoying, so why not? And it sort of looks like it's going to use for some kind of witchcraft or whatever you want. So, tip. Use these with these. But otherwise, don't use it with any flower. It's a disgrace to any other flower, and it should be gone. Oh, sorry, mushroom! It should be gone. Now, we also have these 3. The grass, the fern, and the large fern. And why would I use these? Like, these aren't flowers, these are stuff that you usually get rid of. But if you want it to look more abandoned, like a house or a place, then use these to make it look more overgrown. Because if you see here, you have two exact same houses. The path, the blocks, everything is exactly the same except the flowers and the grass. Like, look at this. We have a Lily of the Valley here. It looks really innocent, like, it doesn't really fit in. If I'd use a live flower for this case, I'd probably use a Wither Rose. But that, it still doesn't, like, it doesn't give off that abandoned feeling that I want. So let's add some fern and large fern and grass, because that looks amazing, way better. And even then, a Wither Rose wouldn't be enough, because if you didn't know, a rose, like a Wither Rose, needs water, it needs care. I mean, not really, but if it was real life, then it would need love and all that. But if this place is abandoned, then why would it bloom? It would be dead, like this dead bush. So, tips: use dead things. Use things that are overgrown, and even I don't even think, like, there. You can use a mushroom. But I don't really think you can use a mushroom, but just use, like, it looks more overgrown and more abandoned and way better. So it gives off more of a story. And it gives, like, more storytelling, I guess. And if you see, like, it's used the same colors, the same blocks, everything, except for the grass, the flowers, and everything like that. And, like, it makes it way interesting, like, way better. I love it. So these were the four, or well, not four, the many things that you can use different blocks and flowers for. So yeah, if you like this video, then like that button, and if you want more videos like this in the future, then please tell me. And if you have any ideas or any questions or anything like that, then please ask me as well, because I'd love to answer them and maybe even make a video of them if it's big enough. And of course I'll give you credit for it if I remember. I will probably remember, don't worry. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this episode here, and if you have any questioning of how to build a Terraria, like terraforming or a house or anything like that, then watch my how-to series, because we already have stuff like that on our channel, or my channel. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this video here, and I hope y'all have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!